Welcome to another review from Steve's Vintage Model Builds. Thanks for everyone who's stopping by. Appreciate everybody's time. Thanks so much to my subscribers, up to 374 now, and glad to know that there's some people who are liking what I'm doing. So today we've got something a little bit different. And one of my sorties out to the local hobby shop, NRC Hobbies, I found that Matt had replenished the bargain bin after I emptied it practically. It was single-handedly, almost. And this is a little different. It's the M151-A2 Mutt and trailer. And this was a U.S. Army vehicle, a military vehicle. Development started right in the middle of the Korean War, about 1951. But it wasn't ready for use during the Korean War. It was the successor to the Jeeps that were used in the Korean War. And saw its most extensive service for the U.S. military. It was around for years, but basically it's a Vietnam War era vehicle, and was replaced by the Humvee. A lot of other NATO countries used it as well, Canada included. And when it first came out, there were problems. It had a unibody structure, which was kind of unique at the time, and it was a little bit bigger than the Willys MB. But the biggest problem was that the original design had a high pivot rear swing axle geometry, and that made it prone to rollovers. This type of swing axle was also used on a famous, infamous car, the Chevrolet Corvair. Anybody who remembers the 60s and the 70s and they're familiar with Ralph Nader, wrote the book Unsafe at Any Speed, which really wasn't fair because they corrected those problems, and it wasn't really unsafe any longer. It was a great little car. My dad had one. He had it as a hobby car. He bought it to fix it up, and he did, and it was a lovely light blue color. So it was used for multi-purposes, and even at one point they had recoilless rifles fitted to them. And they were in use right up until right into the 1990s. Again, they were replaced by the Humvee. But they never took off in the domestic market or the civilian market, mostly because of its reputation. Although they corrected the swing axle problems, they changed that entirely. It just never really took off. Everybody just wanted regular Jeeps, and so they dominated that market. All right, so this was originally tooled in, I believe it was 1977. Let's check here. No, 1984. Tamiya also does a version of it, but this one was 1984, and the new box was in 1987. The date on the side here is 1994. Excuse me. box has seen better days. I don't know if you can see the water stains here. Looks like it got water on it, or stuck in a flood, whatever the case may be. But I got it for $14.99, and so I figured for 15 bucks, hard to go wrong. You get the vehicle and the trailer, and it's Academy catalog number 1326. And you can kind of see why they call it the Mutt. I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but yeah, it does look like a bit of a Mutt. And it may have been, military personnel who remembered the older style Jeeps and so forth. This was quite different. It is what it is. Okay, so here we go. We get the usual stuff. This says for 10 years and up. I think boxes now say 14. Yeah. But, okay, I'm not going to make a comment about what kids are getting more stupid since the 90s. Anyways. Yeah, so we're going to open her up here. And, yeah, you can see here there's some kind of black mold or something. Might have even been in a fire. Anyways, we got the usual warning notes and advice before starting to assemble. This one didn't have the check all the parts first, maybe because it's an older kit. But in any case, everything was nicely heat sealed in bags. So not concerned about the innards here. Okay, so we'll take a look here and see what we get. Okay. Alright, so we have this bag, and this has 2 screws. This looks like to be the body of the Jeep, or the Mutt. And the tires, jerry can, seats. Ooh, and what do you know, look at that. Can you see that? A figure. Okay, so let's see what we get here. And once again, a shout out to Terry Sr. over at Hobby Barn. Zinzan posted a short video today. Excuse me. Sad to say that Terry is reaching the end of his time on this planet. And but he's facing it like a real man. He's a person of faith, and he's staying strong. And he's at home now in hospice care. And his son Jason has started up a GoFundMe page. They live in Kentucky, USA. Started up a GoFundMe page. So I'll put a link on that. I also put a link on the on the live chat video that's now coming out on Sunday. This will probably be shown after. So as always, Terry, we're thinking of you. We're gonna miss you, and all we can do is, hope for the things go as well as they can for you, and that you're getting good care. So, excuse me. A sad time, but Terry he's a good man. He's a good man. I love the twinkle in his eye, and I'll miss that. The time comes for us all, and I guess all we can hope is that we've lived our lives well, and that the end isn't too hard. Okay, so we got a figure here. I haven't been back in the hobby for very long and didn't know much about Academy kits. The figure looks fine. Got good face detail. The quality of plastic here is good. And so yeah, so there's that. So that's nice. Bonus point for that, or quarter point. Wasn't expecting the figure. Okay, and we get another bag here, again with 2 sprues. And oh my goodness, 1, 2, 3 figures, 4 figures altogether. Holy cow. Boy, this is turning out to be a real bonus. I didn't look at the inside very carefully here because I just, took a peek in and saw that everything was heat sealed in plastic, and that's all I needed to know. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3 more figures. Again, each has a facial expression. Kind of nondescript uniform. But there's details. You can see the folds and the wrinkles. There's no flash on any of these. And then here we get the trailer, and I guess the roof or the canvas top for the vehicle. Excuse me. And you get a bunch of jerry cans here to put in the trailer. And wheels, suspension. It's pretty basic stuff. It's not complicated. Again, I'm not seeing any flash whatsoever. And the rag top here, it has some contours and detail. So that's good. There we go. Let's see. Oh, now here, this is a super deluxe bonus. What does it say here? Combat ration cartons. There you go. And I suppose you could use these as templates, or you can just put them together like so. Whatever you want to do. So that's nice. And we get a decal set here. Looks like they're all for USMC, United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! Go Marines! Yeah. Okay, so and here we've got there's just the one. This looks like, yeah, there's just the one windshield window here. And various different markings. One here says convoy follows. Unfortunately, that's even for me, that's a bit out of the date range to put this with the excuse me, the Studebaker and Willis MB. Okay, so here, yeah, as usual, refer to the top box. Excuse me. There's no no service and history details here, and there's nothing in color, but they give you the paint schemes and the details. glossary. So let's take a look here and see. Just back-to-back fold out here. We start off with the chassis assembly, the sides, the front. Doesn't look like there's a motor. No, there is no motor. Muffler, there's the underside, putting the wheels on, installing the seats, adding the little doodads, the extras. Looks like there's decals here. And it says to cut this, but not like the, like you can see that it's kind of half stamped out. So, you know, it's not like a freehand cutting acetate. And here we go. Then we have the driver figure that goes in. The windshield, windscreen goes on. Hood or bonnet goes on. Spare gas can. And we've got the installation of the headlamps, the hooks, this and that and the other thing. This looks like it might be a radio set. And then of course you have the option with or without the roof. I think I'll probably do it without. And yeah, and then you've got all the little details here, the last little things. You have the option to put the 30 cal. I guess it's a 30 cal. It's not a recoilless rifle, that's for sure. Boy, my extra machine guns are sure piling up. My goodness. Got a bunch with the Merkava. Got some with the Tamiya armored personnel figures. Those are Vietnam era too. So probably be able to use one or more of those along with that. Okay, and then we've got the sign, Convoy Follows. That might end up on the Jeep in Studebaker, the little diorama I'm doing there. Because there was a decal that says Convoy Commander, but stupid me, I put it on the olive drab colored front of the plate, and you can't see it. So, and I'm not going to try and pull that off. I'll probably just scrape it off and do whatever. But that'll be nice. You can probably add that. And then we've got assembling the figures. Oh! And it looks like we've also got a mortar. And these three guys are the mortar crew. So they got the driver plus the mortar crew. Wow. I mean, these days you spend $30 just on 4 figures. Okay. And yeah, the olive green and tan. I guess there's some black in there if you want. Okay, not a big kit, a little bit of a shorter video today. probably put this out for Thursday. Peter Oxley's got videos coming out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the week of the 26th. He's hogging all the airtime. Next thing you know, he's going to start collecting fees like the BBC. Okay, so no, I love you, Peter. Yeah, and I'll defer to you every single time. So yeah. Okay, so for packaging, what can I say about the box? I mean, it's not completely smashed. So I'm afraid the box and packaging here gets a 1. But I'm going to give it a quarter-point bonus for the heat-sealed plastic for the bags for the sprues. Okay, speaking of sprues, yeah, that's going to be 2 1/4. They look perfect. The plastic is good quality. There was no flash. I didn't see any nasty ejection pin marks or bubbles or anything like that. That's often a problem with the figures in particular, but these look just fine. So 2 1/4 there. As far as the parts are concerned, as I mentioned, the quality of the plastic was excellent, or good as far as I can tell. Everything was nicely detailed. There weren't any warped or broken parts. Quite a few different decals, get different choices. And so yeah, 3 points there for that. And I would, well, yeah, I'm not going to give it a bonus quarter point because they provided decals for U.S. Marines. I love that. Other people might prefer to have something, U.S. Army or whatever. But that's what you get, and I have no problem with that. That's great. Okay, and the instructions, that's 2.75, quarter point off because they're just in black and white. They do provide the paint scheme though. The instructions are clear, and oh, actually, sorry, that's going to be 2.5 because they. I got to deduct a quarter point because there's no service or history notes. This is an older kit, but I just did the Merkava. I just reviewed the Merkava, and it's the same. Beautiful model, beautiful kit. Got a really high score. I think it was 11 1/4 on my 12-point scale. But again, no service or history notes. So for that, what I did was I did a whole separate video on the Merkava, its history and service, and a little bit of history on why the Israelis are so good with tanks, along with everything else. And so anyways, I tacked it on. I put it on as a card and then on the end screen. So that won't be available on its own. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check out the Merkava review, and you'll see it come up there. Excuse me. And that just went up today. Okay, and then so for value though, okay, for value, I'm going to give that 3/4 of a point. No, you know what? I'm going to give it a full point. 15 bucks, 4 figures, mortar, 30 cal machine gun. Yeah, 15 bucks. And who cares if who cares if there's water stains on the box? But once we're done here, that will and the box art's not that great anyways either. So So yeah. Okay, so yeah, I changed my mind a little bit. I'm gonna give 1.5 on the box here. I mean, it is what it is. It was in the bargain bin, and you know, overall, it's such a great value. Yeah, I'm not gonna ding them too hard for that. It was a nice, it's a you know, in its original form, it was a nice, sturdy top opening box. They've sealed up the sides very well. So yeah, so that's going to bring us to a total of 10.25. And as always, I put up the card for how I rate a kit. Basically, it's a 12-point scale, 10 points standard, 2 points for packaging, 2 points for sprues, 3 points for parts, and 3 points for the instructions. Up to a quarter point bonus for any wow factors in each category. So, you know, that's a total of 11. And then up to a full point for value. And I consider value to be not just the price of the kit, but, you know, what's in the kit. You know, does it have lots of features, options, whatever the case may be. And also, most importantly, how much entertainment I'm going to get out of it. How many hours is it going to be that I get to enjoy it, and hopefully there's no frustration. Okay, so yeah, so 10 and a quarter, which is very respectable, a nice little kit, and yeah, you know, if you're you know, if you're just shopping around or whatever, and you see one of these, you might even be able to get them online now for pretty cheap. I got the Academy Whaler. It was only $12, and that's the current retail price in 2024. For heaven's sake, which I'm still working on. I stalled a bit. I made a big mistake. Well, not an irreversible error, but I made the rookie mistake of not priming the top deck when I painted it. And so now it's a strip and sand job, and I have to go back to scratch. Excuse me. Anyways, it'll get done, and I've been doing lots of other things too, so I don't worry about stuff like that. Okay, so there we go, 10 and a quarter points. Thanks to everybody for your time. Almost 30 minutes again. I do go on sometimes, don't I? All right, so once again, shout out to Terry and your family too. I don't have their permission, so I won't mention their names. But in particular, your son. I know he's doing everything he can for you. He's a good man, just like his father. Okay, so and again to the entire family, and all of Terry's buddies. You know, it's a sad time, but we have to think about all the great stuff that Terry brought us. Okay, so thanks again, and we will see you next time.